Hi guys, so as promised, now we will be working on a broadcast receiver. A broadcast receiver is very much part of services that Android has. You can send broadcasts which are eventually received by a receiver, and the moment the receiver receives a broadcast, you can make a code get executed and accordingly do whatever you want your app to do whenever a broadcast is received. So it's these are very much part of the services infrastructure that Android has, and they do not work in isolation generally, and we will see a couple of examples and we will get to know better about broadcast receiver. So in this example we will just create a small app which when there'll be a button which when clicked will broadcast something, and it will be received by a receiver, and the moment it is received by a receiver we will generate a toast so as to uh, clarify or signify that we have received a toast. So here what I'm doing is I'm creating a normal button here which will be used to send a broadcast. We'll also have a broad on click button, on click attribute here. This is the main activity. So here what I will do is I will basically create an intent which will be finally fired, and that will be received by a broadcast receiver. As of now, I'm just going to put here address of the test receiver, and later we will change this. So basically what this means is that this intent is going to go and search for this address wherever the receiver is. It will go and reach there, and then the resulting code will get executed, which whatever is there in the receiver. Another thing which is important here is to understand that the receiver will basically make this happen by using a intent filter that it will have. We will mention about the receiver in the manifest, and the manifest will help this intent to get executed through the action, right? So we will write here not start activity. Here we will write send broadcast. All right. So this is done. Now I just need to go to my receiver. Now what is receiver? Receiver is basically, to start with, it's just a Java class which I have already created here. You can see it's a normal Java class. I will extend a broadcast receiver. Extend, sorry, broadcast receiver, and then it tells me that yeah, so I will implement methods. The only method which is the most important method is here is on receive method. Every receiver will have a receiver on receive method which will be used to execute a broadcast receiver. Before we start defining the on receive method, let's first define a default constructor. And in my on receive method I will make a toast. I will use the context which I receive as an input, and here I'll write received broadcast, and this is fine. Yeah, that's it from this class. Now we need to go to Android manifest and define a receiver here, which is very important to do. Otherwise, your program will not work. There will be, you need to tell the Android system that you have defined a receiver in the manifest. My receiver, and defining the intent filter here also. Mention the action. Now here we need to put the address which we want to keep for this filter. So generally these addresses are not they have some kind of, let's say you're working on a huge big app wherein you're using some 10 or 15 receivers, you will have some kind of nomenclature to keep these names so that they are handy to be remembered and to be used, right? So we will name it as test receiver. All right, and this is it. Yeah. Yeah. Now we only one thing is remaining, and that is to put this address in the main activity, because this is what should be called when we need to send the broadcast. This is done. Let's see how does this thing look in the emulator. So let's now run this app on an emulator. I did that, and let's click on send broadcast. Yes, received broadcast and another toast. Why is this another toast coming in? Any idea? Because if we check ours toast, there's only one received toast, received broadcast, right? From where is this another one coming? I was also wondering for some time, and that's why, I started checking my emulator, and I figured out that there is, before, like some time back, I was working on the same program and I had installed another app. So what has happened is that there are these two apps now. One is the one which I created with you, demo broadcast, and another one is broadcast receiver, which is also there, this broadcast one. All right. So what happens is, the moment I click on, so let me click on broadcast one. Yeah, the moment, so this is not the app which we made together. This is a older app. If I click on send broadcast, receive broadcast and receive both come. This receive, the second toast which we see here, is coming from this another app which was already installed in the my emulator. So basically this is how the Android system works. If I'm sending a broadcast and it can be received by any intent filter which has got the same action name, so that means both these apps will respond to that broadcast. Similarly, what happened here was received broadcast was toasted because this was matching with the intent filter that I've put here, right? Same thing would have happened here. This is intent filter, right? So this intent filter matched with what was being broadcasted, and same thing would have happened for the another app which was already installed in my emulator. So that's why we saw that both the toasts are appearing. So now that we are done with this small example, let's meet in our next session wherein we will be discussing another example for broadcast. It's going to be an interesting example wherein we will try to figure out, can I read my battery status? How much battery do I have in my mobile device? All right. So till then, take care. Let's meet in our next session. Bye bye.